The rain came down like cold needles, slicing through the evening air as people hurried along the sidewalks. New York City never stopped, not even for storms. But on the corner of West 43rd Street, a woman stood motionless under a flickering street lamp. Her name was Emily Carter, a mother in her early 30s, clutching her 6-year-old daughter, Lily, against her chest. Their clothes were soaked. Their suitcase, everything they owned now, sat beside them, covered with a plastic grocery bag. Emily's lips trembled as she held her daughter tighter. "Mommy, are we going home?" Lily asked softly, her small voice shivering. Emily blinked fast, fighting tears. We're figuring it out, sweetheart." But she knew the truth. They had no home anymore. An hour earlier, their landlord had changed the locks. Emily had fallen behind on 2 months' rent after losing her job. She had begged for more time, even offered to clean the building, but he didn't care. He ordered them out, immediately. So now she stood in the rain, her life packed into a single worn-out bag, nowhere left to go. Across the street, a black SUV pulled up in front of a small diner. A tall man stepped out, shaking the umbrella open with practiced ease. His name was Daniel Hayes, a 42-year-old real estate developer known for his wealth, his silence, and his ability to rebuild anything except his own broken heart. 3 years earlier, he had lost his wife to cancer. Since then, he buried himself in work, rarely noticing anything outside of business meetings and construction plans. But that evening, something caught his eye. A mother and child, standing alone under the rain. At first, he tried to ignore the tug inside his chest, telling himself it wasn't his business. But when he saw the little girl trying to shield her mother with the sleeve of her tiny jacket, something in him cracked. Without fully understanding why, Daniel walked toward them. "Ma'am," he said gently as he approached. Emily startled. She quickly stepped in front of her daughter, protective instincts kicking in. "I'm not asking for anything, sir," she said quickly. "We're fine. We're okay." But her trembling voice betrayed her. Daniel raised his hand slightly. "I didn't think you were asking. I just noticed you were out in the cold. Are you waiting for someone?" Emily looked down, a tear mixed with the rain on her cheek. "No," she whispered. "We have nowhere to go." The words came out broken, like a confession she had been trying to hold in. Daniel glanced at the suitcase, the soaked clothes, and the frightened little girl hiding behind her mother's legs. His chest tightened. "What happened?" he asked softly. She hesitated, then told him. Losing her job, rent overdue, eviction without notice. Daniel listened without interrupting, the rain drumming around them. When she finished, she wiped her cheeks and gave him a shaky, embarrassed smile. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I didn't mean to burden you. We'll find someplace, eventually." Daniel looked at her for a long moment. Then he said 4 words that would change her life forever. "You do now." Emily froze. I don't understand." Daniel knelt slightly so he was at Lily's eye level. "Hi, sweetheart. I'm Daniel. What's your name?" Lily peeked from behind her mother. "Lily." "That's a beautiful name," he said with a warm smile. Then he stood and looked at Emily again. "I'm not letting you two stay out here. I have a safe place you can stay tonight." Emily shook her head immediately. No, we can't accept that." "You don't know us, and you don't know me," he said softly. "But I promise, nothing bad will happen to you. I have 2 spare guest rooms. You'll be warm, dry, and safe. Just for tonight. Please." Emily's lips trembled. Her pride told her to refuse, but her daughter's shivering hands told her the truth. They desperately needed help. She finally nodded. Just one night. Thank you. Daniel smiled with quiet relief. Let's get you inside. You're freezing. Private person. Heated seats that made Lily sigh in comfort. Emily silently stared out the window, still unsure if she was doing the right thing, but grateful beyond words. When they arrived at Daniel's townhouse, she gasped. It was elegant but not excessive. Beautiful brick, warm lighting, and the smell of fresh pine inside. Make yourselves comfortable, he said. I'll grab some towels. Lily walked in with wide eyes, as if she had entered a fairy tale. Emily followed, feeling overwhelming gratitude mixed with fear. But when Daniel returned with blankets and hot cocoa, something eased inside her. No one had been this kind to her in a long, long time. Later that night, when Lily was asleep in the guest room, Emily sat at the kitchen table, sipping tea Daniel had made. She looked exhausted, fragile, but safe. You didn't have to do all this, she said softly. I know, Daniel replied, but I wanted to. Emily swallowed. Why? He paused, thinking carefully before speaking. Because 3 years ago, someone helped me when I had nowhere to go. I lost my wife, my sense of direction, everything. A complete stranger gave me a place to breathe. I promised myself that if I ever saw someone else in that kind of pain, I'd do the same. Emily's eyes filled with tears. Thank you, truly. Daniel smiled gently. You're not alone anymore. Something warm spread through her chest. Relief, gratitude, and something she hadn't felt in months. Hope. Days turned into a week. Daniel helped Emily find job leads, connected her with a women's support program, and even enrolled Lily in a local community class with his niece. Emily offered to clean the house, to cook, to pay something, anything, but Daniel refused every time. You don't owe me anything, he always said. Just focus on rebuilding. And she did. Slowly, her laughter returned, her confidence, her strength. And Daniel? He found himself smiling again, something he hadn't done sincerely in years. One evening, as they all sat eating dinner together, Lily looked up and asked innocently, Mr. Daniel, are we a family now? Emily's cheeks flushed crimson. Lily! But Daniel just smiled warmly and placed his hand gently over Emily's. Maybe, he replied. He said softly, maybe we're becoming one. Emily looked at him, her heart trembling in a way that felt both frightening and beautiful. She whispered, we really had nowhere to go. Daniel squeezed her hand gently. And now, he said, you do.